Hi folks, I thought I should do a companion video to my videos about modification of instruments after hand injury, specifically the Uebel Clarinet, as when I looked at the video, one really couldn't see what it was that we had done very clearly. So here is the upper joint of the Uebel Clarinet. One can see that we have made attachments onto the plateau keys for first finger, second finger, and this is just an expansion pad that I made to fit over the third finger. The 3D printed extension then is attached by a screw onto the plateau themselves. So here is an example of the extension that I 3D printed. These work very well, and I used PLA as the extrusion material. And what makes PLA good for this purpose is that under moderate heat, it can be bent and retain its shape. So if you don't get the actual geometry right the first time, you can go ahead, take it off, apply some judicious heat, bend it, maybe take some off of it until you get the kind of fit that you want. The screws allow these also to be repositioned and or exchanged. As I've talked about in the video, the trick is always when you have the kind of hand injury that I have, where you are missing, half of your first finger, half of your second finger, and this finger, which was, by the way, severed and reattached, is always going to be how do you navigate moving from first finger to the A key and the G sharp key. On the bass clarinet and the alto clarinet, there is enough distance actually where the pad can be bent. However, the distance here is pretty negligible, so we were unable to bend this safely without causing damage in other areas. Uebel was kind enough to let me acquire a replacement A key, which we may have to do some experimenting on. So at any rate, that's how it's done. And I think for the most part, it works very, very well. As I mentioned in earlier videos, I got this from Michael Lowenstern at earspasm.com. He has been fantastic to work with. And the only one that he had in stock was the silver-plated keys with the gold posts. I have to admit that I kind of like the gold posts now. Difference in cost was pretty negligible, given the entire cost of the instrument. I will say that I found it interesting that there are comments on Uebel's site about these not being cork, but O-rings. But obviously this is cork, which by the way suits me just fine. The other comment I was going to make is this finger, the ring finger, is shortened from its original length, which is why, like I said, I have to index in a way, and raising the height of this allows my finger to fit and not accidentally touch the C sharp, G sharp key. I did these with TPU 95, which is a flexible plastic material, which I was then able to just, design to cup over the key. As you can see, there are many, many adjustments on this instrument. Exceptionally well made, exceptionally tight tolerances, with plenty of adjustments to make up all manner of needs. Okay. So it's worthwhile comparing the Uebel clarinet and the modifications to my bass clarinet. As I mentioned also in the video, I had not developed learned how to do 3D printing at the time that this was done. So instead what happened is that Randy at the Axe Repair went ahead and just used shims of brass that he soldered into place on the keys, and we covered them with cork to provide some texture and some feel. Yes, we could now replace these with 3D printing. I could, not me, I'm sorry, Randy could of course go ahead and place an adjustable screw here, same situation, and I can design a 3D print to do this. And similarly here. Now, quite honestly, that would only be a cosmetic change. We have this fairly well regulated, so I don't really know that it's worth the energy in doing that, but we'll see. Now, of course, you notice that with both this and the alto clarinet, we have to plug the hole here because there is no way for me to, to do what needs to be done when one normally goes into the altissimo register and using the open hole. And you can see here that we were able to bend the A key to bring it closer so that my finger can rest there at times and then just move up to close the A key. We didn't have to make any modifications here because the hand fit fairly well. And we didn't have to make any modifications on the G sharp key. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you.